Yes. I've documented quite a few crimes, and I don't have any knowledge of the laws being enforced. Yes. Now, as I mentioned, I don't have Wi-Fi available, so I'm not able to download the actual screen prints. Yeah. Do you have Wi-Fi available where you're at? Yes. Now, the cruel, infamous, and unusual punishment of the court needs to be removed from every judicial system. Yeah. Just want to make mention again the number of attorneys that I've emailed. Seems like I'm being obstructed from speaking to certain persons. I thought for sure I had a lawsuit here someplace. Pew. Now, gross negligent indifference on the part of the police department. I think you are gross negligent indifferent too. Quite a few different crimes that deserve some attention. Yes. Now, just looking at these emails that I've been sending, a lot of them I've been sending to myself so as to have copies of them. Now, during the last 10 years, someone doctored the original marriage application. Can you find the downloads of them in the war crimes folder? I'm providing a link to the evidence. Yeah. I keep providing these links to the evidence of crime. Yeah. But no one wants to enforce the law. And then there's the two versions of the 1001 POW. The one in existence before the 1996 amendments and the post October 11th, 1996 version. Yes. Whoever in any manner within the jurisdiction of any department or agency of the United States knowingly and willfully falsifies, yep, conceals or covers up by any trick, scheme, or device of material fact or makes any false, fictitious, or fraudulent statements or representations or makes or uses any false writing or document knowing the same to contain any false, fictitious, or fraudulent statement or entry. I was thinking this morning that if I'm not able to use these federal forms that identify myself, yes, because you falsified my driver's license and Mike kept my passport when he turned the electricity off on me in the middle of it. And I'm not able to open up any account where you wouldn't garnish the actual assets because of the falsification of Heidi Lee Budner or the multiple public court record. Well, it looks like you're concealing and cover up by a trick, scheme, or device. The actual dissolution of marriage is being fictitious, false, or fraudulent. Ouch! Now, since I can't use the federal forms without concealing your fraudulent use of the judicial system, I can't go down to the driver's license and say, well, actually, I've grown 2 inches and I've gained 35 pounds. Hell, I can't change my name back to what it was. I think I'm being obstructed from participating in certain parts of society that I think are very important. Now, these utilities, see, I'm renting a room where the actual landlord pays all the utilities. She pays the electricity. She pays the water, the sewer. Oh, she pays for the cable. And she pays for the telephone. Yeah. Mhm. And if I went out and tried to rent a place, I actually don't have any proof of identification. Yeah. Now, it's bad enough that you'll garnish every asset that I could ever have because of your fraudulent use of the court system. Yes. And you'd obstruct me from having any proof of identification so as to be able to be employed. Yes. But the renting of any normal apartment, studio apartment, or maybe even a large house, yes, I couldn't get the utilities turned on. Could you do me a favor? Could you contact the local electric company, the public utility district? Yes. hmm See, I haven't been able to pay the rent for the month of July, and technically I'm out of the grace period. I could be evicted at the end of this month. Yes. And it looks like nobody's really concerned about the actual day and time it is. Yeah. Now it's 8:35 a.m. and today is the 7th of, let's see, one day. Yeah. 7/7/2019. Yes. It's a Sunday. And I have to be concerned about my ability to rent a place after I move here. Now I'm really constrained to have to live in a homeless shelter. Yes. Or some place where the individual that rents the room to me will have to be the one that pays for the utilities. Now, when you think about really trapping somebody in life, Pooch, you've decided that I would be so limited in life, liberty, and property. Yes, that I would either have to live in a homeless shelter or a place where, as a boarder, yes, the actual landlord would have to have the utilities in their name. Now, I think this is somewhat of a very serious crime. Could you get me the employees of the public utility district? I'm going to want to know the utility district employees that if I walked in and said, well, I was able to rent a place because I could get a state issued identification because the information on my driver's license, yes, would be correct instead of what you put on there. Pouch! Then I could fill out the necessary documentation to be able to have electricity. Yes. Now, I had read in some sort of information about the city or county that you decided to use a microwave system to read the meters of every place where a person purchases electricity. Could you get me all the meters that are being read by any sort of smart grid system? Yes. See, I'm thinking about purchasing a large number of very smart meters, and I'm going to be the one right now. I'm going to provide all the meters for the United States of America. Now, these individuals that are employed in the various utilities of any city, county, reservation, state, or the federal government, I'm going to want the last 50 years of employees in the PUD and their knowledge of any.